Here are some quick tips for the Hatch Lines brush pack. You can pick any of these 4 brushes to make the outline for your letters. So I'm just going to write a word really fast. I just really like writing the word juicy at the moment because it just looks really good with this brush. So I'm just going to write that out, and then I'm going to show you how we can fill this with the Hatch Line brushes. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is tap the layers, and then we're going to tap the first layer we made and hit reference. The next step is to press the plus sign to make a new layer and put that layer below. Next, you're going to want to grab the color up in the top right and drag it down to fill the colors. Since we have the top layer referenced, it's only going to fill the letters, but it'll be on a separate layer so that we'll be able to put the clipping mask over this as opposed to the outline that we've created. Next, we're going to tap that layer, and then we're going to tap the magic wand brush in the top left corner and then hit hue, saturation, and brightness. In the bottom right, you'll see the word brightness. Pull it all the way to max. Now tap layers again and hit the plus sign, and we're going to create a new layer, and then we're going to tap that layer and hit clipping mask. Before we go any further, I'll just show you how to use a different color other than white. So change your background color by hitting background and selecting a color. And then what you're going to do is tap that layer at the very bottom, hit select, and then hit fill layer. Now we're going to fill in with the Hatch Line Seamless brush, so tap the layer above where we've created a clipping mask. It'll be layer 3. Now let's select the brush we want to use. I'm going to use the Hatch Lines Overlap brush. So just draw over top of the base layer. The layer you're in is the one with the clipping mask, so it's only going to go over the bottom layer. Do not lift your Apple Pencil or it's going to draw more layers, so keep it connected to the iPad so that it keeps one layer. Now that I've done one layer, I'm going to lift the Apple Pencil and do another layer because I really like the look of the brush layered twice. There's just something a little bit more realistic to me about the messiness of the 2 layers. Feel free to just use the one layer. This is your art, so you can make it look exactly how you want. You also don't have to use black. You can use any color. It looks really good, especially when you use 2 layers, to use any color you want. Now I'll show you how to use these brushes with a font. I'm going to select a different color. Then I'm going to hit the wrench in the upper left corner, and then I'll hit Add Text. Double tap the word text and write whatever you want. I'm going to write the word Hatch. Tap the font name in the top left to bring up more options. Now I'll resize it. I'm going to go to about 162. Then tap that O on the right that's for outline, and then we'll be able to fill this with our Hatch Line texture. I already had a layer open, but if you don't, tap the plus sign and then put it below your font word. Next, tap the layer where your font is. Hit rasterize. Tap your layer one more time and hit reference like we did last time. Then hit the layer below and we're going to do what we did last time. Go and get a black color and then fill in the letters. This will happen on a separate layer so that we can create the hatch lines over top. Then, like last time, hit the magic wand, then hit hue, saturation, and brightness, and pull the brightness all the way to max. You might be wondering why we didn't just fill it with white from the get-go, but I only do that so that I can make sure all the letters got filled in. If you choose to skip this step and just fill it with white, you can do that too. Now we'll create a new layer above and hit clipping mask. Now select one of the seamless brushes. I'm going to pick a new one and go with the squiggly one. So you can lower the size, just depends on the preference of how you want it to look. You can keep it big if you'd like, but I'm going to lower it down And then as I'm drawing, I'm making sure that I'm not lifting the Apple Pencil, or if you have a different stylus, just make sure that it's, even if you're using your finger, just keep it connected to the screen until you're finished filling it in. And then if you want to go over it one more time, then you can make a second layer by lifting your stylus, your finger, your Apple Pencil, and then going one more time over top. Again, this layer, we're still making sure that we're not lifting. We're trying to keep it one fluid motion. You can play around with the colors and the hue, saturation, brightness. I think I'd like it to be blue. Yeah. Next, I'm going to show you the script brushes. I'm going to just have one layer. And then what I'm going to show you is when you write with these brushes, they can look a little funny when they cross over top of themselves. So just when you're writing your modern calligraphy, just write it how you would normally by just the different separate strokes. I tend to, you'll see right here, this is how I tend to write. Even though there's separate strokes, I keep my pencil down and it can look a little funny. So just make sure that you're writing the separate strokes if you don't want to have that crossover. And that's everything. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for purchasing this brush set. And if you haven't purchased this brush set and you found me on YouTube, you can click the links below to my website or my Etsy to get yours. Thanks!